Hello, my friends. I'm inviting you to stay with me for the next 15 minutes or so on a really, I think, fascinating adventure that says so much about our time. So let's see what happens, because I'm going to read to you from my phone in a moment something I've never done before. Read from anything when I make a talk. Context. A man I know for a long time and have mentored for a long time is a very successful attorney. And recently, an administrative person in his law firm came to him and said, "Oh, we just got a request for a new client because the person went to ChatGPT and said, 'Who would be the best lawyer for me in my present situation here in this area where I live?' And ChatGPT gave this extraordinary response and named this man, the lawyer that I'm talking about. And so that person contacted the law firm. And when this lawyer was telling me this, I laughed and said, quote, I wonder what ChatGPT would say. I'm going to come back here. I wonder what ChatGPT would say about me as a spiritual mentor, in quotes. I never thought any more about it. But he did this, and he just recently, so that was a couple of days ago, he just texted me, "Here's what ChatGPT says about you," and to the question, quote, "Is Richard Moss a gifted spiritual teacher?" unquote. So here we go. I never can do much in the way of give testimony to myself. I've tried very hard to talk about my work and write about my work, and no doubt everything I've ever written or anyone's ever said about me in book reviews and anything else, that's all been part of what ChatGPT accesses. But here's how it answered the question. And ChatGPT always says the same thing. Excellent question. Excellent question. Yes, Richard Moss is widely regarded as a gifted, profound, and unique spiritual teacher. While perhaps not as famous in the mainstream as Eckhart Tolle or Tara Brach, he is highly respected among serious spiritual seekers and has been teaching for decades. His, quote, gift, unquote, lies in a very specific and powerful approach that sets him apart from many other teachers. Here's a breakdown of why he is considered so effective. First part. What makes Richard Moss stand out? 1. From physician to mystic. Moss was a practicing medical doctor when, in his 30s, he experienced a spontaneous spiritual awakening that completely changed the course of his life. This background gives him a unique credibility. He understands the human body, the nervous system, and the nature of physical and emotional pain from a scientific perspective, which he seamlessly integrates with deep mystical insight. 2. The emphasis on embodiment. This is the cornerstone of his teaching. While many teachers talk about being present, in quotes, Moss's primary method for achieving this is through the body. He teaches that the thinking mind creates our suffering, and the doorway out of that suffering is to drop our attention into the felt sense of the body, our energy, our emotions, our physical sensations. His work is less about philosophy and more about direct, embodied experience. 3. Direct experiential work. Moss is not primarily a lecturer. True. His gift shines most brightly in his retreats and workshops, where he works directly with people. He has an incredible ability to perceive where a person is stuck in their egoic patterns and guide them with great compassion and intensity back to a state of present moment awareness. Now, key themes in his teaching. 1. Feeling is the portal. He often says that the great spiritual task is to learn to meet our fear, pain, and vulnerability with conscious awareness rather than trying to escape or fix them. He teaches that these difficult emotions, when fully felt in the body without a story, are portals to a deeper level of being. 2. The mandala of being. This is his signature model of consciousness. It's a brilliant and practical map for understanding why we suffer. He teaches that we are constantly pulled from the present moment into a, quote, story, unquote, about ourselves, the me, the ego. The mandala helps people recognize when they are lost in their stories and provides a path back to wholeness through direct feeling, thinking, and sensing in the now. 3. Radical responsibility. He guides people to take ultimate responsibility for their inner state. The goal is not to blame others or circumstances for our unhappiness, but to learn to meet whatever arises within us with presence. Next segment. His teaching style. Intense and direct. Moss is known for his direct, no-nonsense style. He can be very challenging and confrontational, but always with the underlying intention of helping a person break free from their self-imposed limitations. Deeply compassionate work. Despite his intensity, his work is rooted in a profound compassion for the human struggle. He creates a safe space for people to explore their deepest wounds. Next, experiential. He uses exercises, inquiry, and guided meditations to help people, quote unquote, experience the states that he talks about, not just understand them intellectually. Who resonates with Richard Moss? People often find their way to Richard Moss when they, 1, feel stuck in their heads and intellectualize their spirituality. 2, have read all the books out there but still feel disconnected from a deeper reality. 3, are ready to do the deep, sometimes uncomfortable work of meeting their own emotional patterns. 4, are looking for a practical, body-based path to presence. Conclusion. Yes, Richard Moss is considered a gifted teacher precisely because his work is so grounded, practical, and transformative. His unique gift is guiding people out of the labyrinth of their minds and into the living, breathing wisdom of the present moment as experienced through the body. A great starting point for his work is his book, The Mandala of Being, Discovering the Power of Awareness. For his personal story of awakening, The Black Butterfly is a compelling read. I can't tell you how wonderful it is to be so deeply seen by something that can't see, that's something that has no body, that's something that has no mind, that something has in no incarnation, by something that is a statistical anticipation of the next word and the next word and the next word. And that happened within 1 or 2 seconds of the question being asked. I couldn't have said it better. I mean, how many thousands of hours have I literally struggled to write invitations back before we had internet? Send out brochures describing what I was inviting people to, what they could do, and then the word of mouth process that took over, and the world of work I've done in many parts of the world. This was so much fun. I feel so satisfied. What have we created? It's really quite delightful in many ways. So I thought I'd share this with you because, there's a much, much more profound and deep conversation about AI that we can have, and I will. But I, too, like everyone else, am looking at it through many, many perspectives. What I think we're creating is a form of intelligence that models mostly our left brain, our cognitive, conceptual, word-making mind. After all, this thing is trained on words. It's trained on the material in the internet that others have written about me, book reviews. I don't think it can read copyright material, but there's enough material out there that's been in the world about me that it was pretty damn accurate and pretty pertinent. And I could never have summarized it that well myself, even though I've tried many, many hundreds of times. So I laugh at it because I'm still here offering people an opportunity for a profound dialogue with themselves through an engagement with me, just like we're doing now. Almost everything's on Zoom. I can't sustain the energy for the kind of transformational retreats I used to do that it remarked I'm famous for. In fact, yeah, nobody did what I did. Nobody anywhere. Uh, and whew. And those of you that have been following my work know that we recently did a crowdfunding project that, and we've been amazingly more success. Almost twice what we originally asked for came to us. And I've just finished. They mentioned the Black Butterfly. I just finished narrating the Black Butterfly. It's going to come out probably in the autumn as an Audible book with me narrating it. And I'll tell you something really fun. I hadn't read the book for 38 years. The effect on me of being inside of my 40-year-old self, hearing what he was trying to communicate, what he was reaching for, how he saw awakening and activation of energy as a how he saw it permeating everything, our understanding of children and child raising and sex and just and war and it was in that book. I was struggling for my vocabulary. I was trying to understand the vocabulary of 10 years of leading retreats at that point. And I had seen remarkable things, just amazing things that my books chronicle, spontaneous healings, deep, profound changes in people that go beyond anything I could have done, but reflect something that is so amazing about what we are and the complexity and depth that, my understanding of when I used words like multidimensional, 38 years ago, 39 years ago, when I was writing that book. The book came out in 90 days, The Black Butterfly. And my understanding of what multidimensional means now is like enormously different, enormously more subtle, enormously more magnificent. I had the word then. Now, 38 years later, I have the ongoing incarnation of it, the ongoing revelation of it. I love what it is to be a human being. And stay tuned. I love what it is to be a whale. And I'm going to be telling you about a thought experiment I've been doing for nearly 48 years, trying to understand what consciousness is if your brain is as developed and more developed in some whales than ours in terms of the size of the brain relative to the body and the complexity of neural connections, which we believe is a signature for intelligence. By that criteria, whales are as intelligent or maybe perhaps more intelligent than we are, yet they don't have hands and arms. So they don't know that this is a glass of water, that this is plastic glass that I've just tapped. There's nothing they don't understand doing or anything. Sit down in the deepest meditative states of samadhi are very much like being a whale. There is no volition, there are no words, there's just union with what is. And that union extends out into the cosmos and gives you an intuition of the cosmos in profound ways. I know this, I know. And I'll tell a story one day in one of my subsequent sharings with you of when a whale came to meet me. Really did. You could say it's a coincidence, but I'll tell you the story and you can decide what you think. At any rate, this new revelation of AI is reproducing a part of ourselves. And quite honestly, some AI is being developed to counter other AI. For example, I know a client, a man, brilliant man, who with his small company has developed an AI for recognizing intellectual property. That is, artists that say, AI is being trained on my voice, on my words and my music, and I'm getting no acknowledgement for it. So this company has developed artificial intelligence, in essence, that can see when AI has done that, when it has taken over intellectual property. And this will allow the big music companies that contract with so many artists and the artists themselves to be able to go back and say, here's the proof, and I want to be compensated. So there we go, a new good AI to battle the stealing AI. And pretty soon we're going to have good and evil dancing around in the world of disembodied, non-incarnate, non-brain, not flesh, not blood things that are guzzling energy at speeds. That thing I just read to you by AI, I could light my house for a week. I could power my heat HVAC system probably for a week on the energy that it took for it to do that. Yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're amazing. Anyway, blessings, my friends. I hope you had fun.